Hey everyone, welcome back to the Sunday stream. Today is November 22nd, 2020, and I'm going to be looking at some key names today that I have on my watch list going into tomorrow, along with the markets and where they stand currently with regards to futures, SPX futures, and let's get right into it. Here is SPX on a 4-hour time frame with futures. We are slightly higher on at the moment from where we were on Friday's close. Some key levels that I will continue to look at going forward. Let's look here on the 4-hour time frame. So we're currently just above where we closed yesterday, around the 35.63 mark. Going into tomorrow, we have overhead resistance at 35.85 and 3600 psychological resistance. Above that, as you can see, we had some rejections at the 36.25 to 36.30 level. We tried to break it over here on the 16th. We couldn't. Tried once more, pushed right back down on the 18th, and we're currently just below resistance at 35.65. So like I said, tomorrow, 35.85 and 3600 are levels that I'm looking at. If we can break those, 36.15 and 36.30 are the big hurdles. To the downside, I'm looking at 35.50, 35.35, and 3500 as key levels for support. So keep those numbers in mind and those levels. And I'm going to head into the watch list. Starting with Apple, ticker AAPL. Again, we are on the 4-hour time frame, so keep that in mind. And I'd just like to say that all the numbers here discussed into these charts will be saved for group members under Wealthy Mentor Trading, so you can look back and check to see if what current levels need to break or where support is. So we have Apple here. Apple again has been into this small range of 120.50 to about 117.50. We closed slightly below support at 117.11 on Friday, but the key numbers here that I'm looking at for a break is 120.50. As you can see here, this is on the 4-hour time frame. On November the 11th, we tried to get up to there, got rejected on the 12th, came right back down, held 119.50 and 117.50 for support, slushed around, tried to break 120.50, again, rejection. As you can see, 120.50 is clear resistance on Apple. So going into Monday, again, I have key levels at 119.50, 120.50. Those are areas that I would like to see break to confirm that we are in an uptrend on Apple. Right now, it's just trending sideways, consolidating into this small range. To the downside, I have 116 and 114 as support. So keep an eye on Apple. It tends to move the market. So if we have a big day tomorrow and the tech QQQ is pushing higher, look to see if Apple follows through with that. Okay. Next name, NVDA. NVDA on the 4-hour time frame. NVIDIA had earnings. Not much happened. We're still into this sideways channel that we've been in for a while now. Some key levels that I would be looking at is 543 and 547. As you can see, we've been trying to push above that huge candle wick right here. This is a sign of rejection. Sellers pushing the price down. Again, 543 is clear resistance. We tried to push right back up, got rejected. Again, 547 got rejected here on the 13th of November. Similar candle right here, big rejection, pushing the price back down below 543. So we're currently at 523. I'm looking at levels for a potential scalp trade above 530. You can potentially take profits at 535, or you can increase your position here to 2 contracts if you're trading options for a potential take profit at 543. If you're more of a conservative trader and don't want to deal with all this price action back and forth, I would look at 543 as first confirmation and an entry above 548 just to feel more safe. Keep in mind, there are some rug pulls even at these levels, as you can see here on the 12th of November and on the 18th of November. So these levels, if they do break, I would suggest quick scalp trades, you know, in and out. Look at the volume for confirmation, look at the market conditions, look to see what the semiconductor, you know, the ETF is doing, try to get all these clues. To the downside, I'm looking at 520 as support. As you can see here, we dropped down, buyers quickly swooped in, pushed the price back up. And again, we've been into this small channel right here. So a break of 520, I'm looking at 517, 514, and 510 for support. We held 510 support back here on November the 10th. And I would say the last line before a sell-off is 505. Okay, so that's NVDA on the 4-hour time frame. Next name, Tesla. Tesla, some big news coming out this past week. The inclusion of the S&P 500 was bullish. You know, a big rally up, held support at 405, pushed all the way, and we're currently at 490. I have overhead resistance on Tesla at 505, a break of 505. I would say 505 to 508. I'm looking at 518 for a take profit area. Above 518, I'm looking at 540 as the next level. To the downside, I have 470. I would like to draw another line of support here, and I would say it's at 480. So 480 is my first confirmation to the downside. If that were to break, I'm looking at 470 as a potential stop or scalp trade down to 470 for a take profit. But in all honesty, what I'm looking at again is this 464 level. This was a key level to break to the upside to confirm that Tesla was indeed moving up. So a retest of 464 is very probable. So I would look to see if we do sell off, and if 464 does hold, I would look for a higher move towards the 500 mark. You know, stocks, when they break out at a certain key level, like 464, they like to retest it. And if they retest it and they hold, it just shows the strength of the stock. So that's one level I'm looking at to the downside. And again, 505 to the upside is a key name, Tesla. Moving forward, Netflix, not much happening on Netflix. NFLX is the ticker on the 4-hour time frame. Netflix is one of those stay-at-home stocks that has been thriving during COVID, and you know, with the increasing likelihood of shutdowns in schools and people staying home and working, and I guess just, you know, watching shows and whatnot, Netflix is one of those names that I'll be keeping my eye on. Not much happened this week. We were stuck into this channel from 480 to 488. I wouldn't get into any trades on Netflix until I see the break of 508 and 512. You could potentially enter at 500 for a scalp trade to take profits at 508 or 512. A more conservative trader would say, you know what, if 508 is my first confirmation to break, I would enter at 512 for a potential take profit at 522. So going into Monday, I'm looking at the level of 500 to break. We currently closed at 488, which has held for support and has acted also as resistance. As you can see, we've been in a tight range all week. So 500 is a key level to look at. Towards the downside, I'm looking at 477, which has held for good support the past week. If 477 were to break, a good shorting opportunity to 466 is very likely. It has held for support here back on the 10th of November. You can see sellers try to push it down. Buyers entered. This is a bullish candle, huge bullish candle. We tried to test 500 and got pushed back right down into the zone. So going into tomorrow, 500 to the downside, 474, 466, and 460. Again, this is one of those stay-at-home stocks, so keep this in mind. Another name, another stay-at-home stock that has thrived during this pandemic is Zoom, ticker ZM. You know, this is one of those stock recaps that I had posted on my Instagram. Group members were notified that a break of 425 would be a good entry point for a 435 and 442 take profit area. And, you know, both those levels hit on Friday. So going into Monday, I'm looking at, you know, a break above 442. If you're a more conservative trader, I'm looking at 450. You know, you had a huge candle here, pushed down all the way from 516 all the way down to 406. This week, with the increasing likelihood of shutdowns, I'm really looking at this stock above 550, potential take profit, scalp trade to 460. If you're a more conservative trader, I would look for the 460 mark to break, just because, you know what, right here, this was the breakout point. We tried to break it here, got pushed down, then we gapped above it. So I'm looking for something similar here. So above 460 is a key level for me. And if 460 were to break, I'm looking at 474 and 477 as potential take profit areas. To the downside, I'm looking at the break of 425, which was the breakout point to the upside on Friday. So I would like to see 425 hold. If that doesn't hold, 415 for a potential scalp trade. And if 415 were to break on high volume and market conditions confirming, I would look at the 400 mark as a key level. Okay, so that is Zoom. Moving on to another stay-at-home stock. It is ROKU, ROKU ticker. Again, on the 4-hour time frame, this is one of those stocks that has thrived. As you can see, healthy uptrends, and we're currently at all-time highs. Where can this stock run? Well, it all depends on how we open up Monday and what the headlines are. Currently, I'm just going to draw resistance at 266. We closed at 263. So going into Monday, I'm basically looking at 266 to break, a potential profit at 270. It's a round number, psychological number. Stocks tend to move around those round numbers. So I'm looking at 270 to break. 270 for a potential target area, but 266 is the magic number. Keep in mind, if we do break 266 on low volume, that is not a confirmation to enter a trade. What you potentially want to see is a break of 266 on increasing volume, right? And you could either enter on that volume or you can say to yourself, okay, I want 266 to break. I want us to retest 266, then move higher. And a lot of times stock do break this key level, come back down to retest this area, which is now support at 266. When we hold it for support, then move up is much healthier and is a safer trade, in my opinion, as to enter at 266. So keep in mind the volume, keep in mind the market conditions, keep in mind to see what the tech sector is doing. All those are indicators of when to enter on ROKU. To the downside, I'm looking at 455 as support. That'll be my first confirmation. My second confirmation would be the break of 250. If 250 were to break, I'm looking at 240 for a take profit area. 240 has held for overhead resistance the past few weeks, and it was the breakout point to all-time highs. Basically, as you can see, we had huge candle here on the 4-hour with increasing volume. Volume down here confirmed it. And if we break 250, I'm looking at a scalp trade to 240. And if 240 were to break, I'm looking at 228, 230 as potential stops. Okay, so that is ROKU. Again, moving on to another stay-at-home stocks. It is Peloton, ticker PTON. Another name that has thrived during this whole crisis. And, you know, these guys build exercise machines. And as you know, with the increasing likelihood of gyms closing, this is one of those stocks that has thrived. So again, key areas on Peloton, as soon as Monday opens, 114. That is the level that I'm looking at to break. If that breaks, I'm looking at 117.50 and 118.50 as potential take profits. Conservative trader might say, okay, I would like to enter at 118.50, and I would agree with that. You know, 118.50 has held for support down here back on October the 22nd. So entering at 117.50 or 118.50, a potential 122.50 take profit area is highly likely. To the downside, you know, we closed Friday at 111.50. I'm looking at 109 to break. If 109 were to break, a good shorting opportunity to 106. And if volume increases during that support level of 106, and if that breaks, I'm looking at 100 as the next major level of support. But overhead, you know, 118.50 as a conservative trader, 122 and 126 are levels that I'm looking at going into Monday. Keep in mind those four stocks: Zoom, ROKU, Peloton, Netflix. These type of stocks thrive during these type of market conditions. Okay. Another name I'm looking at going forward on Monday, Square, SQ, ticker. We have all-time highs at 204. We currently closed at 196. As you can see from the pattern, you know, it's bullish. Rejected at all-time highs at 205. Sorry, 204. Right? I'm just going to draw resistance point at 204. And from the looks of this formation, we're likely to test 204 once more. So we closed at 196. Key levels that I'm looking at going into Monday, 201.50, a break of 201.50. We test 204, which is all-time high. A break of 204, you know, we're off to the races. So for a safer trade, I'm looking at 201. For a scalp, 204. Now I could increase my position on the break of 204, or I could say, you know what, I'm going to lock in some profits. Both are good ways to do things. My way of doing things would be if we break 201.50 at 204, if there's increasing volume, I would increase my position. So if I'm going in at one contract, if you're trading options at 201.50, I would look to increase my position at 204.50. 204.50 because I like to have a close above 204. 204.50 gives me a little more confirmation than just entering at 204. But you know, when you're looking to enter at 204, you're looking at a multitude of things. You know, you're looking at market conditions, you're looking at volume, you're looking to see if the stock was upgraded, downgraded, pre-market, you know, all those things. So keep that in mind when we're breaking a key level. You're looking at those things to confirm. To the downside, you know, we have held the 178 to 174 mark consistently since November the 10th. It was also a breakout point right here back on the 5th of November, which took us as high as 192. So I'm looking at key levels to the downside, 188 for support, a break of 188. We could potentially go down to 182. Okay, so that is square on the 4-hour time frame. Moving along, BA. The past couple of weeks, we had stimulus headlines coming out, and as soon as we get stimulus headlines, you see names like BA, airline stocks, MJ stocks, all move up. So keep your eye out on the Dow Jones. That is the transportation department. And, you know, we are 2 for 2 going into Monday. So I'll be looking at BA, airline stocks, stocks that thrive upon stimulus news, openings of borders, flights. BA is one of them. Boeing is huge. And honestly, being around the markets for such a long time, it's one of the most manipulated stocks as well. So keep that in mind. Going into Monday, guys, take profits. You know, lock in those profits. Don't hope that Tuesday it will push higher, which just hasn't been the case. So going into Monday, I'm looking at Boeing. Key level that I'm keeping my eyes on is 210, a break of 210. We could potentially test right here at 225, right? For a scalp trade. If you're a more conservative trader and you want to see 225 break, I would look at 233, 234 as a potential take profit area on BA. I'm gonna zoom out to the 1-day time frame to give you guys a look to see where we're at. You know, as you can see, right here was the drop during the whole pandemic. We dropped down to 180. We have slushed around here. And this area at 225 is a key level. We were rejected here, you know, after this huge up move from 144 all the way to 225. We got rejected around this area, which was a key area back on June the 8th. So for me, going into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all of next week, a huge level for me, if we were to actually move up on Boeing and confirm that things are getting better, is 234. Breakdown candle here, couldn't break out here, and you know, not enough power juice to go through it here. So going into Monday as a scalp trader, a break of 210, 225 take profit. Conservative trader, 2 levels to look out for: a break of 225, take profit at 234. If you want to be extra safe and you're more of a swing trader, you know, you're holding positions for a longer period of time, I'm looking at 234 to break, and you know, we could potentially be off to the races and fill this gap right here at 250. We could draw another resistance point here at 242. So these are some key levels on BA. A lot of profit taking, which is natural on Boeing. You know, like I said, we catapulted from the 140 mark all the way to 220. Those are huge profit gains. You're going to see sell pressure, huge candlestick right here. You can see volume confirming. So going into Monday, these are the key levels. We have support at 196. If 196 were to break, I'm looking at a scalp trade to the 190, 187 area. And that is on BA Boeing. Another name I'm looking at on the watch list for members, NIO, NIO. Guys, please like this video, share it, get the word around. If you like the content that I'm pumping out here, that would be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe and tick that bell for notifications going forward on videos that I release. Okay, so NIO ticker NIO. It's one of the EV stocks. I'm gonna go in here to the 4-hour time frame. It had earnings. We pretty much held the $40 mark pretty good, and we've been slushing around to this little small area. These names, NIO, TSLA, Tesla, LI, SOLO, all these names have been thriving lately, you know, towards this movement of electronic vehicles. And it's pretty much where the world is going, if you haven't noticed. So NIO has been on an absolute rip since, I would say, the $16 mark back on September the 24th. So congratulations to the bulls that held this long at the swing trade. As a day trader, you know, I'm looking at levels of 51 going into Monday for a potential $54 take profit area. Above 54.50, we're off to the races. Same thing applies to NIO that I talked about, ROKU. I'm looking at a break above 54.50. I would like to see volume confirming, market conditions confirming. You know, hopefully we get an analyst upgrade. I could definitely see the stock going to $60. Potentially, I would like to see $54 to break, retest the $54 mark, and then move ahead. The downside, I would say $43 is a key level. We have held it for support. If you are an options trader and you want to buy puts, I suggest buying puts below the $40 mark. And as you can see here, 43 and 40 are key levels. You know, a risky trade would be, you know, shorting on 43 down to 40, or even potentially $38, which has held for support. You know, key levels for support, 38, 40, 43. Keep those in mind. And above 51, 54 take profit, and above 54, we're off to all-time highs. Okay, one last name I'm going to look at that was brought to my attention by one of our members, DKNG. DKNG, DraftKings. Again, one of those names that has thrived during this whole crisis is DraftKings. Pretty much gambling, right? Stay at home stock. And here are some levels that I've drawn out. And we currently closed at $48. I'm looking at a break of $50 for a potential scalp trade to $52.50. We have held $52.50 here. We have overhead resistance. So a break of 50, $52.50 for a scalp trade. If you are a safer trader and don't want to deal with the, you know, the ups and downs and the whipsaw action, I'm looking at $55. It's a big level for me here. You know, tried to break out, got rejected. Right here, tried to break out, you know, hit it, got rejected. Finally broke out here. pushed right back down to that same area, tried to retest it, wasn't strong enough. Bears pushed it down. And, you know, we're potentially going into next week looking at that level. So as a safer conservative trader, I'm looking at 55 to break for a potential take profit at $58 and $60. To the downside, I'm looking at $46 as support. If 46 were to break, 43.50 is support, 42 and 40 again for support for second and third confirmations. All right, guys, that's it for the Sunday stream. I'd like to thank everyone. Please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends. You know, a lot of uncertainties coming in, heading into tomorrow with stimulus news, with regards to the vaccine, of when it will come out. Guys, I've been in this market for such a long time, and don't hope for vaccine news. Don't hope for stimulus news. Just trade it. You know, as they say, buy the rumor, sell the news. As traders, we don't care. These headlines, you know, they don't mean anything to us. We like volatility, and these type of headlines bring volatility. So, you know, it's a great time to be in the markets, to take advantage of this, you know, the volatility and these huge swings. So just keep that in mind. And as traders, take profits, you know, go in to next week, have your trading plan, have everything written down, continue journaling. If you had a red week, you know, 2-3 red weeks, I suggest you take a break. If you had 2 or 3 red days, what I do is when I lose 1, 2, 3 days in a row, I reevaluate. I look at my trading journal, I see where I went wrong, where I entered. You know, even when market closes, go back, look at your charts, look at your entries and exits, and ask yourself if this was a great entry. And when you identify your mistakes, you become a better trader. So everyone, good luck tomorrow. Can't wait to see what happens and where the market opens. All right. See you guys. Bye.